just before 8 o'clock on Tuesday evening, and I'm speaking to Party Chairman Nick Griffin, who I've just seen all over the news once again. Nick, I gather you've had a bit of an emotional day today.
Yeah, indeed, Simon. The Wootton Bassett ceremony, it's not. God knows what it's like for the families, but for anyone. It's a harrowing experience. That's not an exaggeration. It's a really emotional thing, that event. It's something quite spectacular the people of that town have done. It's become an institution. It started almost by accident, apparently, and thousands upon thousands of people, locals and people, travelling in from a long way away to show their respects and to give some support. Now, I don't think anything can give support really to the families, but perhaps at least to the friends of the fallen there. So that many people there with respect for men they've never met, and perhaps it gives them a shred of comfort, and that's all people can do, and that's what people are there for.
Yeah, I know you don't want to make a political point about it. I think you've done the right thing there, and certainly I don't want to make a political point. But I don't think that any other politician could have walked down. Certainly no Labour politician could have dared showed his face today.
No, and perhaps if one did, they'd get a degree of respect, but I think they'd have a terribly hard time. I got in Glasgow and was stopped in a small Scottish town of Moffat on the way down yesterday. It was yesterday? Yes. A fantastic response from people there, and you're really enthusiastic. There wasn't, naturally enough, there wasn't that enthusiasm today, because it wasn't an occasion where enthusiasm was really remotely appropriate. But I still got a very warm response from people. People were pleased to see me. All sorts of folks, sort of posh Tories who'd travelled in. I was talking to one fella, son was in the case where a group of squaddies were stuck in a landmine, and one of them was killed there. Sorry, in a minefield in Afghanistan. And he was telling me that they bought out. I think they got paid £5.60 extra. They thought probably for being stuck in a minefield with one of their mates bleeding to death. Really just unbelievable stuff. And that's the kind of thing that brings people to the place. And they were very pleased, I think, to be telling someone they see as from the political worlds, what it's really like. But it's not a nice experience, Simon. It really isn't. But I would urge everybody, not just BNP, anyone listening, who's within reach of Wootton Bassett, to make a decision to go along and pay their respects. Nothing political whatsoever, but just go along and do so and be there and get a feeling for the sense of injustice and anger that's boiling up amongst people in a very quiet British way over the way that this war is being prosecuted, when everyone knows we really shouldn't be there at all.
Yeah. I think the irony is you're getting accused by the Guardian, surprise, and in the Daily Mail of hijacking this thing and politicising it. But in a way, they're doing that themselves by trying to turn the public against you. But you didn't get a bad reception from people. It's as simple as that. I mean,
got a really good low-key reception, because that was what was appropriate.
Yeah.
One of the chaps, he asked for wanted photos taken, and I said, well, yes, but don't make a big thing of it. And they immediately said, no, got you, I understand, and just sort of quietly snapped a shot on the sly. But there again, you need to say this, but let's face it, they have the ability to not put the pictures of me in their newspapers and on their television. They're using me and the BNP to sell newspapers. Who's using who?
Exactly.
Had they not said these things, then there'd be a few hundred people in our section of the crowd would have seen that I was there and would have spoken to their friends and relatives about it, and that would have been it. It would sink without trace. But they're the ones using me and the BNP to sell newspapers. They're using me, not anything else.
Well, you did the right thing. We all know that. You're going to get some grief from various newspapers for political ends, but I know you should have been in Brussels today. You've got an important conference, but you went there, and that was the right thing to do, wasn't it? I mean, you said that really there was no other thing that you could do when you saw that those lads were coming back today.
But it was, I wanted to go to one for a while, and did say to the press, this one second worst of these ceremonies. 6, 8 was the largest before. It's the second worst in all the conflict. And of course tomorrow is the proper Remembrance Day, because I hope everyone will recognise the 2-minute silence at 11. Until they cheapskated the thing by making it the nearest Sunday. That was when, not that many years ago, the whole nation stopped. And so the day before proper Remembrance Day, I thought, well, that's the one to go to. I was, as you say, sort of moving on. There was an Envy committee thing today, it's the Environmental Committee, with a video link with Professor Stern, who's the author of the Stern Report, which is the thing the government is building its case, in inverted commas, on, to tax us all to death over global warming. And I did want to go to see if I got the opportunity to raise some awkward questions about this ridiculous mass of lies and half-truths and omitted statistics. But I'm afraid that's going to have to wait. But perhaps not that long. I'll be in the committee meeting tomorrow, and we'll see what crops up there.
Yeah, we'll drop one question on a lighter frame, really. You probably heard that there were 2 winning tickets for the Euro lottery in the UK. Each of those tickets won 45 million quid. Now, it just so happens that 7 of those were in your northwest constituencies. There were some Scousers, some Liverpudlians. Good luck to them. And instantly they've given up their job. None of this nonsense about, I don't know what to do, I'll carry on working. They've just, got rid of their jobs.
They were working in a call centre, weren't they? I think?
Yeah. Which I think is rather stylish, to be honest. A lot of these
people say, stylish. I got the job immediately on that one. Yeah.
Well, what do you think of the guy in Gwent who won, him and his wife who won, and the bloke was 60, he woke up the next morning having 45 million quid. The previous day he'd been made redundant for a few months or whatever, and he was £68 overdrawn. I mean, you probably feel like me, that's the kind of guy that should win the lottery, isn't it?
I'll tell you what I would do if I were him. I would take the letter which will turn up from the bank saying, "You're overdrawn, you owe us an extra £25 for writing to tell you."
Yeah.
And I'd take that, and I'd tell the manager precisely where to stick his "you're overdrawn" letter and his bank charges, and I would put my 45 million quid somewhere else.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, Nick, I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Okay, Simon, right. Good night.
Yes, good night.